Good evening and welcome in to the Wire Sports Show. To the right of your screen is Pops and I am QMP. We are of course, your favorite father-son duo talking sports. And don't forget, y'all, once again, don't forget to be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate everybody that's tuning in tonight. Thank y'all so much for the love. Thank y'all so much for the support. And thank y'all in advance for all the comments we about to see up on that screen. And my man Stephen Daniels already in the building. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. But Pops, you ready to talk to the people, my good sir?
Yes, sir, I am, because football is back. So now I'm tired of watching golf, and so we can actually watch some football, whatever kind it is. It's just good to see football on TV now. So let's get the show going.
I heard that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, y'all, we're gonna start the show with some breaking news. Now, it's such breaking news that it just happened maybe about what 3 minutes ago, Pop, 5 minutes ago, something like that. But we couldn't get a clip because it happened like just a few minutes ago, y'all. But Vita Vea, the defensive tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he ain't getting traded, y'all. Y'all might have heard he requested to be traded. Well, he ain't getting traded because him and the Buccaneers have agreed on a 1 year contract extension for 30 mil. So again, Vita Vea, y'all, outstanding defensive tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, my second favorite NFL team, is not going nowhere. He gonna stay with the Bucks for another year. He said he ain't being traded. Like I said, they agreed to a 1 year contract extension. Literally looking at the screen right now and seeing it, y'all. 1 year, $30 million extension to stay with the Buccaneers, Vita Vea. So again, breaking news. Y'all heard it here on the Wild Sports Show. But also, Pops, you got a little bit more breaking news, and we don't have a clip for this either, but it was something that came across the wire in the world of the WNBA, which we're going to talk about, in much more detail about a game that occurred on this past Sunday in the WNBA. But Nanek Ogumake is going to be retiring from the WNBA after this season. 15 years in, y'all, and she is going to be retiring from the WNBA. Outstanding player for the LA Sparks. You know, she's a champion. I'm sorry. Yeah, she's a champion. She has one WNBA MVP, numerous All-Star game appearances, numerous all WNBA teams. So the Neko Gumake, outstanding LA Sparks WNBA player, is going to be retiring after 15 years in the WNBA. This is her last year. So the Neko Gumake, hey, you've been a hell of a player for the Sparks. So well done there. Well done. Now, get into the show content, what we're going to be talking about for this show, Pop. First up, like I said, y'all, it was a hell of a game in the WNBA this past Sunday, y'all. And it was the Fever that was playing against the Atlanta Dream. Yo. Appreciate all the comments, y'all. Let's put some of them up here real quick before we go any further with this, Pop. So my man Sydney chimed in saying, hey, let's start the show. So appreciate you, my man. Then my man Brandon, of course. Appreciate you, brother. What's up, bro? Appreciate you tuning in. Or Flick Chick, of course. What up? And then Miss Renee Bradley. What up? Yeah, that's right. DC4L. That's right. You see the gear. You know what it is. DC4L. Y'all see the screen. Y'all know what it is. But anyway, y'all. Appreciate y'all's comments. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate y'all. But as I was saying, Pops, Indiana Fever against the Atlanta Dream was a hell of a game this past Sunday. I gotta say, it was a game that really made me want to tune into the W even more than I already have been. But Pops, they went into overtime. The Indiana Fever they're a hell of an offensive team, Pops. They've had 100 points, a ton of times this season, record-breaking scoring pace that they're on, and they've just been doing well. They got a great team, but the Atlanta Dream play well as well. Angel Reese is a freaking Dennis Rodman of the WNBA, getting all the boards that she's just continues to compile. So, what are your thoughts on that game that occurred on this past Sunday against the Fever against the Dream.
Well, let's go a few weeks back, and we were saying, and we didn't even think that Indiana would even be kind of like where they are right now, because everybody said, well, you think they can actually make the playoffs or whatever like that. And so I think they all got together and said, hey, look, we need to put this team everybody needs to put the team on their own back and play as much as they can, as best as they can, because it looked bad for them about maybe 3 to 6 weeks back. Nobody had them even picked anything. But this game just showed that they belong. And we know about our girls, so I ain't going to say too much about her anyway. But like I said, now, they may be able to threaten to even win this whole thing.
Yeah, and the main thing is, you're right though, Pops. There was, time that the head coach, and Caleb Clark were at odds at one point, yelling on the sideline and all those things, and it didn't look so great. But whatever happened after that point, in the ball movement that I saw, it's like they're all on the same page. They really are looking good. And I'm a fan, Cameron. I'm a fan of Caleb Clark, fan of Angel Reese. Again, Dennis Rodman on the NBA, Pop. She was on those boards, and Caleb Clark, looking like Steph Curry of the WNBA. But we got another comment from Brandon before we move on. Let's see here. Brandon is saying Atlanta needs shooters. They have to rely on defense. Absolutely. I agree. I completely agree, because, dude, they had a ton of open threes in that overtime period that they just kept missing, man. So, yeah, you're right. They do need shooters. Good comment, my man. But, yeah, Pops, Atlanta Fever, Atlanta Dream, hell of a game this past Sunday. Love to see it. And there's another big game coming on tonight. The Minnesota Lynx going up against the Golden State Valkyries. And Golden State is an expansion team, Pops, this year. And you just heard what I said. Minnesota Lynx, Golden State Valkyries is a big game coming on tonight. So I'm going to probably check that out once we're done with the show tonight. But, yeah, that's crazy. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the NBA when it came to, Carolina being 2 years in and making to the, NFC Championship game. And so, too, did Jacksonville. Both of them made in the second year, which was wild. But, yeah, Golden State Valkyrie, looking pretty good. Just then. So, yeah, big game, Minnesota Lynx going up against Minnesota Lynx going up against the Golden State Valkyries. But yeah, Indiana Fever, Atlanta Dream. Well done. Good show on Sunday. All right, y'all. Now we're moving on to the world of the NFL. We're going around the league. First up, Pops, we're going to talk about the starting quarterback battle between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. Pops, give me your thoughts on who you think should win this QB battle, and who should be the starter for the Cleveland Browns, and why.
Well, with this Deshaun Watson deal, all these things he's been going through since he's been in Cleveland, this thing has never came to fruition in a sense, because they had high hopes for him in Cleveland when everything started, and so far it's kind of been a nightmare. And my thing of it is this. I'm going to sound kind of crazy, but I'm going to give him his opportunity, since they gave this boy all his money and all of that, and he went through all of these other things, as far as off-field things or whatever they went through. So I would more or less let him start and see if he was worth the money in the first place, because like I said, he's supposed to be the actual savior for the Cleveland Browns. So we'll see what happens with that. But again, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and go with him, because Shedeur is still learning as far as I'm concerned. So what do you think about that?
You have a strong point there, Pops, but I'm gonna disagree with you, because I think Shedeur should go ahead and get the reins to this thing. Because yes, you did pay Deshaun Watson all this money. I get that, understandably so. But you really need to see what you have in Shedeur Sanders. Kevin Stefanski was there. He's no longer there. New coach, Kyle Monken in the building. You got to see what you have in this quarterback. Because guess what? This upcoming draft is supposed to be, see my air quotes there. It's supposed to be a quarterback-rich draft. Going into this college football season, this is supposed to be a quarterback-rich draft when this college football season ends, going into the 2027 NFL draft. So we shall see. But again, the best case scenario is for Shedeur Sanders to get this starting quarterback nod, see what you have in him, and if you don't have anything in him, you can draft someone else. Because as I've said numerous times on this show, numerous times before we got this platform, Pop, when a new coach comes in, they are not tied to whoever was drafted before they came, took over the team. You know what I mean? We're talking about head coach, general manager, whatever the case may be. They come in, they're not tied to whoever the quarterbacks are who are there at this given time. You want to see what you have because you got, Shedeur Sanders, who is a talented quarterback. You want to see what you have in him, see if he's able to make it happen. If he is, then guess what? You can use that high draft pick or whatever it's going to be, those 2 first-round picks on other things to build up the team, right? The case in point to this, and a clear example, is when Seattle had the Legion of Boom. They signed Matt Flynn to this big deal, backup quarterback from Green Bay, signed him to be the starter at Seattle. But then they drafted Russell Wilson, late round draft pick. He wound up being a starter as a rookie. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, if you can get that from a young quarterback, you can do so many more things with those draft picks, acquire so many more assets to make it happen. You know what I mean? That's my argument for it. So I say Shedeur Sanders.
So we got badges then. We got badges because we can't keep a quarterback like Watson around there. So somebody's got to go. So it looks like what you're saying is he's going to be the odd man out there.
Yeah, and then another example with Russell Wilson on the negative end when he was a Denver Bronco and what they had to do as far as their salary cap was concerned, eating all that dead salary cap money by letting him go. But they said, you know what, we're going to go ahead and bite the bullet and go ahead and get rid of him to get someone else in. And now they have Bo Nix, and we see what they're doing now. Denver Broncos are a team that's on the rise and considered contenders by a lot of people, as far as in the AFC. So Russell Wilson was a good example and a negative one as well. So just saying. So in regards to your Deshaun Watson point, yes, they are paying him a lot of money, but at the end of the day, what has he really shown other than being often injured? And then when he did get an opportunity, didn't play so well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we shall see.
All right.
And then we got Sydney chiming in saying, that's a hard one, man. I'm just trying to tell you it is. Luckily, we don't have to make that decision. That's Todd Monken's decision. So good luck to you, sir. Good luck to you, Todd Monken, on that decision. You know what I'm saying? Pops are saying Deshaun Watson. I'm saying Shedeur Sanders. We'll see. We'll see. All right, y'all, moving on. Talking about quarterbacks, we're going to talk about the top rookie performances that went down, over these, couple weeks of preseason football. So you got Drew Aller, who was a draft pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who had 77% pass completion percentage. And then you got 153 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. You had Drew Aller, drafted out of Penn State. Haynes King, drafted out of Georgia Tech, had 61% pass completion, 180 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. You got Carson Beck, who I thought looked really good, with the 79% pass completion, 188 passing yards, 1 touchdown. And then you have Fernando Mendoza, 63% pass completion, 97 pass yards, 1 touchdown. Now, saying all that, Pops, like I said, I thought that Carson Beck looked really well, looked really good when he was playing. Again, I understand it's preseason, playing against people that aren't going to make the team, whatever. But there's certain things that you want to see from a rookie. Does it look too fast for him? Does it look like, the game's too big, the moment's too big, or whatever the case may be? And really and truly, it didn't look that way for any of them at all. And then you look at, another quarterback who's not on this list here, but Ty Simpson, who was drafted by the Rams in the first round, this past NFL draft, and he looked pretty good. So your thoughts, Pops, on just, these rookie quarterbacks, how they performed, and What do you think about it?
Well, I just like you said, I think that they did real well. All of them did real well, but I'm still looking at the number one draft pick because everybody's still gonna have their eyes on him. These other guys can actually fold or whatever, shall I say, have a bad season, but the eyes are still gonna be focused on number 15 and what he's gonna do as far as for the Raiders. And I believe that he did well enough, being in his first. Well, like you said, it's just unknown players basically or whatever. But my thing is that for a number one draft pick, I think he did pretty good for that, and I think he needs to show to the Raider fans that hey, y'all have hope. Because the last 3 to 4 years, it's been a problem for them. So I'm going to go with him. But like you did say, all of them did have good games. But this is a young man. Everybody's going to keep their eyes focused on because he's the one they think is going to save the Raiders.
It's true. And I will say something about, Drew Aller as well. People are saying, what if, Mike McCarthy, who's the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin went through quarterback after quarterback after quarterback after quarterback when Big Ben retired. Since being Big Ben retired. It's like, what if Mike McCarthy just happened to stumble upon their franchise quarterback in Drew Aller? Again, Mike Tomlin is trying to get quarterback, trying to get him in, trying to get some quarterback to take over for Big Ben, and no success as far as, consistent quarterback play like he had with Ben Roethlisberger. But then they're saying, who knows? Drew Aller may be that person to take over for, Aaron Rodgers when he's done. So I don't know, but it would be wild if he happened to just stumble upon having a franchise quarterback. Again, Drew Aller out of Penn State, but we'll see. That would be wild, though. Again, all these years and no quarterback, and then you got this guy. So again, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. That would be wild. But anyway, we got a comment from Nicole Bryant. Appreciate you, Nicole, for chiming in. DC4L, absolutely. DC4L all day, y'all. All day. All right, so next up, y'all, another contract extension that was signed by Mr. Devin Witherspoon, who is a cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks, that reached an agreement on a 4-year, $132 million extension and includes over $101 million guaranteed that now makes him the highest paid cornerback in NFL history. Now, I will say he is a hell of a cornerback, but this only means one thing, Pop. You know what that is? What that means is Mr. Christian Gonzalez out of that plays for the New England Patriots. He will be probably what we talk about next week's show, because he's in line for a payday. It was going to be one of these two, and we talked about this with the running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. But one of them was going to get signed first to a big contract extension. Well, same thing with this. It's either going to be Devin Witherspoon, Christian Gonzalez, from New England. So New England Patriots are saying, hey, we're going to sign him. We need him. We need him here. He's a big part of the team, blah, blah, blah. Well, kind of put your money where your mouth is now. Because these were the two that were in line to get paydays. Devin Witherspoon got his first. Now, let Christian Gonzalez get his money. So, Pops, your thought on Mr. Devin Witherspoon getting this big money contract extension for the Seahawks?
Well, I will say this: Seattle always had good cornerbacks. So if you don't, I forgot to give him the name that they had way back here when they actually won the Super Bowl. I can't think of his name now. I don't know why, but that's how it is. But anyway, like I still say, if you can get your money, you get your money. But they've always had good cornerbacks, and we shall see when the season starts that this was worth giving him this type of money, because when you do get that money, guess what? You're going to have a target on your back, and the other teams are going to try to see and show him up and show you what maybe y'all made a mistake. But we'll see what happens, because again, he deserves the money as of last year and more or less before that. But we'll see what happens to him when the other teams play him to see if they can make sure that they show him, hey, y'all shouldn't have paid this guy this kind of money, because we're going to pick him apart.
All right, yeah, you're right. That could have a negative effect as well. So we're gonna see, you know, we're gonna see how he performs after getting this big money deal. Good point. Good point. All right, so again, congrats to you, Devin Witherspoon, getting your bag, my man. So Christian Gonzalez is up next, so we're gonna see how it goes. Now, one other thing before we move on to this, onto the next topic, but there's a funny story that was out of the San Francisco 49ers camp in regards to Christian McCaffrey, right? So apparently he's been, out of practice here, not practicing because of some type of tightness, muscle tightness or something like that, right? Now, mind you, you got Bijan Robinson, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, both getting paid, right? And, apologies, Jonathan Taylor getting paid as well, right? So, in my eyes, maybe there's a debate about him being better than, possibly not being better than Bijan Robinson, but Christian McCaffrey is a hell of a football player, right? And I'm thinking in his mind, he's like, man, I'm better than these guys, so I need my money too. So, head coach Kyle Shanahan came out today and said, well, if they weren't doing a joint practice today, Christian McCaffrey would be practicing if they weren't doing a joint practice. But I'd be hesitant to, say any of that, because at the end of the day, he is a running back, and he almost had a thousand season, like we had talked about with Roger Craig being the first to have that. Well, Christian McCaffrey of the 49ers almost had that last year. He was about, I would say, about 80 some odd yards away from doing that, and he's going to get paid $12 million. And you've seen these other running backs getting paid, this offseason. So, just saying, Christian McCaffrey probably looking to get paid as well, Pop. Just saying. I was just mentioning that because we're talking about the Seahawks. Seahawks in the same division as the 49ers. Just saying. Something to look out for, y'all. Christian McCaffrey trying to get a payday as well. So we're going to see. Keep an eye on that story. Just saying. Christian McCaffrey, the 49ers, keep an eye on that. Just saying. All right. Next up, y'all, got a coach that we're gonna talk about. And this is Antoine Randall, right? So in the preseason, a lot of times, and as we've heard, Pops, Clayton Adams, who was the offensive coordinator for our beloved Dallas Cowboys, in the second half, called plays or kind of, I think they switched him and Ron Schottenheimer kind of switched off here and there, where Clayton Adams was calling plays, Ron Schottenheimer was calling plays, and things of that nature. Well, with Antoine Randall, he was given the play calling duties in the second half of the Chicago Bears preseason game this past week. And apparently it led to a 24-0 run when he was calling plays. So we're giving him this spotlight, Pops, Antoine Randall, because he could be one of the brighter minds, coming up in the league. We know he's a former player, right? He played for the Steelers, did some gadget plays here and there, was the one that threw a touchdown pass. I believe it was him, Antoine Randall, threw a touchdown pass to Hines Ward, the Super Bowl, when they won in Detroit, which was Jerome Bettis' final game. But I think if I'm not mistaken, Antoine Randall threw a touchdown pass to Hines Ward, and he was just that guy. He was a quarterback in college, and he wound up being a receiver, but he was able to do those kind of gadget plays as well. Just give you those trick plays and those type of things. The receiver most notably for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, Pops, what are your thoughts on Antoine Randall possibly being that maybe up and coming mind and one of the brighter minds in the NFL? Ben Johnson, who we know is the play caller in Chicago, gave the reins to him to make the play calls in the second half. So what do you think about that, Pop?
Well, I'll say this. We want everybody to have a shot at being an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, but give the brother a chance and see what he can do. But now we also have to remember that the plays that were called were against the players that are not actually may even be on the roster when the NFL starts or whatever. So It may have looked good or whatever at that time or whatever, but I would love to see him get an actual job to do that. But again, you still have to keep in mind it was against the people that do not actually start in the NFL. Maybe a few of them or whatever. But I think he'll probably be good. But we need to see him against the actual veterans and see what he can do.
Yeah, it's just a nice little thought. 'Cause like I said, in the preseason where you see a lot of these things taking place, whether it's like they have an O-line coach calling plays or something like that, just to kind of see, kind of like how in summer league how the head coaches have their assistants taking over as head coach, just to give them that experience and see how that goes for them. It has bode well for some coaches, and same thing for the coaches in the NFL. So we'll see. But again, it's mainly giving that spotlight, as we've done for a certain coach that was with Ohio State, who was doling out all those awesome receivers. Coach that we shall not name, but one of our early shows, we did a spotlight on him because he's a hell of a coach, not head coach somewhere else. But you heard it here first from the Wild Sports Show. Just saying. But yeah, like I said, Antoine Randall, just somebody to keep a close eye on to see. Maybe he might do some things. We'll see. We'll see.
Right.
Yeah. Kudos to you, Antoine Randall. Getting those play calling duties, taking half of that game, and making the best of it. Making the best of it. So, all right, y'all, that'll do it for Around the NFL. Now, of course, y'all know the Wild Sports Show. You see what's the emblems in the back of our frames there. Our Cowboys, y'all. That's what we're about to talk about right now. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all already know. So, first up, y'all know what it is. That is our new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker. Now, why is his picture on the screen? Well, his picture's on the screen because, the Cowboys did play this past Saturday night against the Seahawks. And the defense didn't look all that great to start the game. They gave up a touchdown in the first drive, right? So it didn't look so good. It looked so good. But, the rest of the game, they gave up nothing else. And Pops, you had mentioned something in our pre-show meeting about, the goal line stand. So I'm going to let you take the conversation over. What are your thoughts on and again, as you said, preseason? I understand all that. I get that, whatever. But, as Brandon, our frequent commenter on this show, has mentioned, there are some things that you do see in the preseason. That's a given. There are things that you do see, and things that you can take from one game to the next. So, Pops, your thoughts on just what you saw from the defense overall against the Seahawks, and just your thoughts about what they could potentially be.
The one thing that I did see is that it was kind of like a togetherness with these guys, and they seem to enjoy playing with each other as far as the defense is concerned. And I had said at the beginning of this whole thing that the physicality of the Dallas Cowboys had to change, due to the fact that all the games we saw last year, they seem to be more poor tackles and all of that, or they seem not to be in the right positions or places or where they needed to be. But as the game wore on this past Saturday, like we still say, it's not against top quality competition. But I think it's a whole different type of mentality with the Dallas defense this year, and I think it's all because of the new defensive coordinator and what he says. They each listen to each other, and they try to more or less make up for the mistakes that the other young guys probably would make. But the physicality of this defense and the way he played, or shall I say, he was at Philadelphia, and then he had Philadelphia doing real well. And I think the Cowboys defense really does, the young players especially, do really believe in this guy and what he does and his philosophy. So I think because of that, and the games that they win, that's not, like I said, it's not a championship game. They just played in this past weekend. But if they keep playing together, we're going to see a whole new type of defense that Dallas has. I think they'll be all right. And they're going to surprise a lot of people.
And I'm gonna say this again. I understand it was preseason, so I'm gonna say this. There are things that you saw. There are a lot of things that you saw throughout the game that really showed, his teachings and things of that nature, with how you saw some of the quarterback play, and just in general the mentality. Like you said, you can tell that what he's doing, it's something there, right? And then just constantly seeing him teaching and teaching and teaching consistently. Like I said before, his specialty is the secondary, right? And so we saw some good things there from the secondary. And like the mentality of the defense is different compared to what it's been before. So those are some of the things that you can take from this game. What we saw now, we got 2 more preseason games, so we'll see how it goes. But, the things that I saw, again, it's different. It is different. Again, it is preseason. I understand that completely. But there are things that you see, it's like, okay, maybe there is something there. Maybe, he's doing some things. And again, keep in mind, he's calling the defense, right? He's calling the defense. So maybe when it started out, it wasn't all that great, growing pains here and there, but then he got his rhythm and we saw what happened, And they gave up some plays here and there. But as you mentioned, again, the pre-show meeting about them doing the goal line stand, or stopping them at a point to where there was a missed field goal, So there are some things there. There are some things there. So we're going to see how it plays out. As you said, Pops, we'll see as time goes on, see how they do. And we'll go from there. But so far, so good. Now, what can help this defense is someone we had just signed, what was it, yesterday, day before yesterday? This guy. Von Miller is now a Dallas Cowboy. Now, we see what he brings to the table. As you see in the caption there, Von Miller's NFL resume, which he brings to Dallas. 2-time Super Bowl champion, 7-time All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowl, 23 games, 138 and a half sacks, 27 forced fumbles, 9 fumble recoveries. Pops, we signed Von Miller. Talk about it.
Well, you just said one really good thing that he has done, not one, but 2. He is a 2-time Super Bowl winner. And also, there's one thing that I talked about a few minutes ago, and that is the physicality of the defense changing up. And if you know any player at all, you know that Von Miller is one of those type of players that love to play the game physically. And so I think those younger players on the defense of the Dallas Cowboys will play a lot more physical because of his presence now that he's with them. And he says he's also a teacher of shall I say, a mentor more or less. And I think because of his presence and what he brings to the table, it's going to make Dallas one of the better defenses. And he said that he can make tackles, 8 sacks in his sleep. And so we're going to see how this thing plays out. But again, the fact that he has been a winner, and he's also in Dallas, and he said when he was a little kid, he wanted to play here. So I think we're going to see great things out of this guy. It may not be a whole season all like that or whatever, but I believe what he brings to the Dallas Cowboys this year is going to surprise some people.
Well, I'll say this, and I agree with you. As far as, yeah, he's a talent player. Is he the Von Miller he was years ago?
No.
Of course not. Of course not. But at the same time, what he does bring to the table is this right here, for sure. So at the end of the day, you're able to learn all the young players, especially Donovan Ezraku, which we're going to talk about. We don't have a clip for this, but we got to talk about him, Pops. Seriously, like he got to do something. He got to do something. But anyway, he can be a person that can pour knowledge into Donovan Ezraku, Maris Leah, who else? Goodness, trying to think of who other defensive players we have. Sam Williams, all the ones that we have on our squad that can use some tips and just fine tune their game as far as mentally. Now, during his press conference, his introductory press conference, Von Miller said, I can get sacks. Sometimes getting sacks it doesn't take any athletic ability at all. He said it's up here. It's right here. He said it's mentally, the tendencies of an offensive lineman or play caller or what they're gonna do here. All those things are things that he can truly teach the young guys we have on the squad right now. Who better learn, like a Caleb Downs, who better learn from than a Von Miller, who's done it all in this league. And it's funny, we had talked about it before, Pops, where Von Miller was posting all these things about wanting to be a Cowboy, and everybody was downplaying, saying it wasn't going to happen, and blah, blah, blah. Well, he's a Cowboy. And again, we understand this is not going to be the one that truly gets us over the top, right? This ain't a Max Crosby trade right here, right? But it does show that we are trying to do things to better the team. He signed a 1 year, $5.5 million deal that could end up being worth $7.5 million with incentives, right? But what you're getting, he got 9 sacks last year. You're hoping he can do that same production this year, for sure. So I'm pleased with the signing. I'm glad they got it done. They recognize they still need assistance. With the pass rush, you truly can never have too many pass rushers, Pops, honestly. So you want to have people to go out the quarterback. Yeah, what were we going to say, Pop?
Yeah, I was going to say this. It may not seem like it, but I think sometimes your heart is kind of like something that can help you in some ways. Being here in Dallas, and I always wanted to play with him, but he went another direction. But I think that alone, having a heart to play for the Dallas Cowboys, will actually bring him a little bit more enjoyment of the game, because he wanted to be with the Cowboys a while back, and he said about his family who they were rooting for, whatever. But I think that fresh start, and actually fresh start for the Dallas Cowboys, I think that right there in itself would help him to be a better player.
What's funny though, he did say something that was wild. He said that he is the greatest teammate in NFL history. He called me with that one. I was shocked he had said that, but I thought that was pretty funny. He's the greatest teammate in NFL history, because what he was saying is it's like I might play 60 snaps, right? I may play 60 snaps, but the additional things that I'm gonna be talking to my teammates about, or getting to play up to their potential, things of that nature, those are gonna be, that's even more of an impact that I'm gonna have on the game. If I can get my teammates to play up to their potential, if not better, then that's me. I consider myself the greatest teammate of all time, or greatest teammate in NFL history, is what he said. So we gonna see, Von Miller. You talking a lot, brother. But we gonna see. But yeah, I'm very pleased that they did sign Von Miller. I really am. It wasn't like a break the bank type deal or anything like that. He is a pass rusher. We needed pass rush. We got a pass rusher. Let's see what he can do. So Von Miller, now a Dallas Cowboy. Next up, y'all, we're gonna talk about the backup quarterback battle. And I gotta say, Pop, both of them look pretty good. I was skeptical about Joe Milton, but as we both know, Pop, if we're comparing these two, talent-wise, Joe Milton is far talented than Sam Howell. His arm strength is off the charts, Pops. It's just the fact that it's raw talent that he has. It's just about harnessing it, getting him to make throws like a Sam Howell can. Now, Pops, give me your thoughts on what do you think about our backup quarterback battle. Who do you think is winning it right now?
I think bringing in Sam is going to make Joe better, because of the fact that he really didn't have any competition last year. And he's also had another year on his belt to actually play in the NFL. And I saw a lot better preparation from him, or should I say performance from him, this last game. His passes were a little bit better, and some of his decision making was a little bit better. But like I said, he didn't have too much competition last year against to be the second string quarterback. And also the maturity it showed a little bit more so this past game. And he'll have some more games to prove when the upcoming games come. But he did look good. I was a little bit afraid that he might look back like he did last year or whatever. But like I said, and you just said, he looked a lot better. And Sam just wants his job. And at this point, I'm going to tell you, I really believe that Joe is about maybe 2 or 3 percentage points ahead of Sam.
Okay. So you're saying Joe Milton is beating out Sam right now?
Right. And also when you say this, as far as youth and all that is concerned too, because I know Sam might not be around too long. So if you can get Joe to perform a little bit better, continue to do as he does, the youth is there for him too, because he has a lot more years to play in the NFL than Sam does. So I just believe that right now at this point, I'm seeing him do a lot better things than he did last year.
All right, and Queen's conversation saying, "Ooh, we getting a black one." Yo, we already got Dak. So what you trying to say? Trying to say. But so listen, I mean, I really think, and this is, I mean, say what you will. I think it's a tie. It was a tie, in my opinion. We got a comment from Brandon before I finish my thought. Brandon is saying, Sam Howell always looks like he can't throw far. Yo. But I mean, like I said, y'all, I think it's a tie. It was a tie between those two. This particular game, they both did some good things. They really did. They both did some good things. There was a throw that Sam Howell made that was towards the sideline that we're going to touch on, that he threw to a certain player that we're going to spotlight. Two players that I can't spotlight today. But yeah, it was a 30, man. It was like, okay, that was pretty good. And it was, I don't know if it was a first down throw or it was very close to the stick. It really was. But it was a hell of a throw. I was like, okay, I see you, Sam, with that accuracy right there. But like I said, Joe Milton did some good things as well. Now, as I said, I think it was a tie between those two. I really do. In this particular game. So we'll see how they separate themselves, because eventually it's going to happen. One of them is going to separate themselves, in this quarterback race, and we'll see. But I think they finished this particular game tied. That's just my thoughts. And we'll see. But both of them look good. I was pleased. Both of them look good. So remember, we had the discussion before. Pops was like, I don't know about our backup quarterback situation. Got me scared. But Like I said, it was pretty decent. It was pretty decent against the Seahawks. So we'll see. But that's my opinion. Joe Milton, Sam Howell finish up tied. Pops thinks Joe Milton has the edge right now. So we'll see. We'll see. All right, y'all. Next up, running back number 2 battle. Okay. Backup running back battle between Jaden Blue and Phil Maffa. Now, as you'll notice, Malik Davis is not pictured on here, but goodness gracious, he played better than both of these guys. Now, I will say the line that they had out there when both Blue and Phil Maffa, Jaden Blue and Phil Maffa were out there, they didn't play that great because there wasn't really anything there. I did see that Jaden Blue got a screen, did something with that, caught a couple passes here and there, which I like to see. And I said, he would be the key to unlocking this offense for sure, taking it to the next level. So he did those couple things in his time, out there. Phil Maffa did okay, but then he got injured. So we'll see how that goes. Both of them got nicked up, but I think Phil Maffa got a bit more injured. But Pops, what are your thoughts on the backup running back battle? Who do you think's winning that right now?
Well, like you said, it's not easy to say because of the line play, and you have all of these people coming in and out or whatever like that. But I think Blue has something to prove. I think with the speed he has, and also the fact that he didn't show that much last year, he was more or less injured a lot during the season or whatever. And so I believe with the regular veteran line that we supposedly have, I think he should be the one that should be given a shot at the beginning of the season, because like I said, he didn't do that well last year, and he has something he wants to prove to the Dallas fans that, hey, he wasn't drafted just to be who he is, but to show that he can do what he can do. So we'll see what happens with that. I would go with him at the beginning of the season if everything's okay and he's not hurt, to see if he was worth drafting and being the draft choice that the Dallas Cowboys chose.
I would say, if anything, if Phil Maffa wants to be in this thing, he's got to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy. Again, we said in this show before, the best ability is availability. If you ain't on that field, give some type of competition, brother. It's going to be conceded to Jaden Blue or Malik Davis. But as I said, Pops, I don't really think that this game was a good showing for either one of them based on the line play. The line play was trash to start the game. It really was. There really wasn't any running lanes or anything of that nature that I saw at all for either one of them. Like I said, Malik Davis did his thing. The line played a lot better as the game were on. But when those two were in the game, that was and Brian Schottenheimer said it so. That there really wasn't much for either one of them because the line play wasn't that great. So we need to see them with the line playing, at least average above average, see what they're able to do and go from there. So that's my thoughts. I mean, obviously, I feel about Jaden Blue. I feel like he's gonna end up being the starter at some point down the line in this during the regular season. It's just how talented I believe this young man is. And like I said, what I believe he can do with this particular offense and take it to the next level. But, we'll see this next game. Hopefully, Phil Moffa is able to get on the field, not injured. Same thing with Jaden Blue, that they're able to get some better line play and see what happens. So, but yeah, we'll see. We shall see. All right, y'all. Next up, we are going to our camp spotlight, our training camp spotlight. And we got two players that we're spotlighting for this week. One of them, who I already told y'all about when we signed him as an undrafted free agent, and that is my man Michael Trigg. Y'all, while he didn't make 1,000 plays during the game against Seahawks this past Saturday, he made a few of them, which I'm pretty sure is making that tight end room feel a little uneasy. Namely, Schoonmaker. Brother, watch your back, man. You better be looking over your shoulder because Trigg made that pass I was telling you about that Sam Howell made. Well, that pass was to Michael Trigg on the sideline. That was beautiful. And he got a couple more passes. I think he got about 30 yards total, 30 receiving yards. And he looked pretty good. And as I said, what I saw on his Baylor tape is what I saw in this game against the Seahawks. Hopefully he'll be able to play in this upcoming preseason game. Apparently he got some toe injury he's dealing with. So hopefully he can play. And from what I've heard on these different shows that I listen to, is like Luke Schoonmaker, watch your roster spot, brother. Because if Michael Trigg comes out and balls out, it's not looking too good for you. The only thing Michael Trigg needs to do better is the inline blocking, which, as you know, for a lot of receiving tight ends, that's a lot of what they have to work on is their inline blocking pop. So your thoughts on what you saw from Michael Trigg and, his potential?
Well, I agree with you on that he played real well. And again, we always have to have that jury out on the fact that when you put all the big boys in, and what I mean by that is when you get all of the veterans in and all the whole team together, that's when we actually start the NFL season. Then you kind of have the jury still kind of out on each of these players. But the fact of it is that when you show what you can show against whoever was out there since before this last game they had, and we'll have some more games to look at him. Hopefully he won't get injured or anything. But I'm agreeing with you as far as how he played. But again, I don't want to get too up in there about him. I want to make sure that the young man continues to trend that he's doing. Because like I said, there's going to be some veterans out there going to say, okay, so y'all say this is one of the better tight ends that Dallas has got. We're going to see what he does against the veterans and see if he can hold his own against them. So we'll see.
Now, Brandon, you know what I'm going to need you to do with comments like this, sir? Because Trigg is heading to the practice squad. I'm going to do this right here, brother. I'm going to need you to relax with comments like that, my man. Okay? I'm going to need you to relax. Because, listen here, man. I'm trying to tell you, Schoonmaker going to be gone if Trigg continues to play better. I'm telling you. Because what's Schoonmaker done? What has Luke Schoonmaker done other than be hurt and not produce? I think that pretty much sums it up. So I'm just saying, man, Luke Schoonmaker, you better watch your back. And if he keep playing even better, Jake Ferguson. Listen, man, I'm telling you. But I've been telling y'all this though. I'm saying. So just mark my words. When y'all keep seeing, Michael Trigg keep doing this thing, keep balling out. I'm just saying, y'all. Just saying. Just saying. All right. The next training camp spotlight goes to my man, Camden Brown. Listen, let me tell you. Camden Brown balled out this past Saturday. 2 touchdowns, one of them against double coverage, and then this beauty of a one-handed catch in the end zone. I mean, what more can I say? Pops, I'm gonna just let you speak on that. Camden Brown, he he did what you're supposed to do when you get your opportunity. Bottom line, your thought.
Yeah, when you look at that catch that he has right there, that's really concentration, and that shows. Also, he said that being undrafted, he kind of had a chip on his shoulder to show that he can be one of the better receivers in the NFL, and that alone in itself could actually make him one of the better receivers that the Cowboys have had. But again, I want to throw in a little tidbit against people that not told the starters or whatever, but I think this young man should be part of the team because of his desire and his ability to actually concentrate on the ball. And that he has, like I said again, the chip on his shoulder to show everybody that, hey, y'all didn't draft me, so I'm going to show y'all that y'all should have drafted me, and I can become the players out there that actually had that were draft choices. And so I'm going to keep a question mark on him as far as against better players. But what he showed me this past game, I like his game.
Okay. And we got another comment from Brandon. He said, bro, Schoonmaker is already behind Ferguson stand forward. He'll get to play. Practice squad. Listen, the reason why Schoonmaker don't get to play is because he ain't being productive. If he was making plays, don't you think he'd be able to be on the field a lot more? I'm just saying. The whole reason why Schoonmaker ain't on the field is because he ain't producing, bro. If you get somebody on the field that's going to produce, they're going to put him on the field more. They're going to find a way to get him out there. Perhaps, am I wrong? I'm just saying. He produced. If Schoonmaker was producing, he would be on the field a lot more. Ferg and Span Ford are producing. That's why they're on the field. Well, Ferg, we'll figure it out. But anyway, Span Ford is a great inline blocker. Hell of a blocker in the run game. But yeah, Schoonmaker ain't doing nothing. That's what I'm saying. He better watch his back. The Trigger gonna be in there and gonna be producing with the opportunities he gets on the field. Just saying. Just saying, man. Appreciate the comment, bro. Got another comment from Brandon saying Cam Brown balled out, but the name of the game is consistency. Show me the same result next game. Absolutely, brother. I agree. I completely agree. Appreciate that comment. But yeah, he's gonna have to continue to do that consistently. That's the only way he's gonna get a spot on this field. I mean, on this team, the field of 53. Bottom line. That's the only way that's gonna work. But he had a hell of a debut. That's for sure, man. He had a hell of a debut. But yeah, those are our two camp spotlights for this week. Two training camp spotlights. My man Michael Trigg and my man Camden Brown. And y'all already know what time it is. It's that time of the show. We're gonna have our bruh moment of the week, y'all. Bruh moment of the week. And who is our bruh moment of the week for this week's show? I have a lot of candidates. Well, my man Jaden Daniels, I'm gonna need you to step up to the podium, my good sir. Now, Pops, I heard about this. Jaden Daniels filed a lawsuit against LSU. And he's saying that he no longer wants his name, image, and likeness to be utilized by LSU moving forward. Right? Now, the reason why he's saying this is because there's a cornerback, a 5-star recruit, that said, I will commit to LSU if you let me wear number 5. So that upset Jaden Daniels. He said, man, they let him wear my number 5? All I did for this university, when the Heisman, I'm suing him. I just think this is utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Your thoughts?
I have to agree with you on that too. I don't know what's the big issue about this with him on that? I mean, I know that he was considered to be one of the better quarterbacks that LSU had or whatever, but it seems like it's a third grade type move or something, Doc. I mean, as a me. So I don't understand the logic on this or whatever. So he just gave us the actual explanation. The same thing I would do about this. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. And so we'll follow the same, see which way it goes.
Now, I mean, I get it if a guy like Joe Burrow came on and said, "Hey, y'all can." But if you notice, no one has worn the number 9 since Joe Burrow left. Right? No one has worn number 9 since Joe Burrow left whatsoever. So they're saying something. Now we don't know what'll happen if somebody comes out and says, another 5-star recruit that LSU's trying to, acquire, and he says, "Hey, I'm not coming to university unless you let me wear number 9." I guess we'll see when that time happens how Joe Burrow would react to that. But I just think it's ridiculous, honestly. Jaden Daniels is a hell of a player. Not taking it away from him, but it's like, what are we talking about here, man? Yes, won the Heisman. That's it. Joe Burrow, national champion, won the Heisman, all those things. Set records, right? But yet and still, this young man is saying, "Hey, I don't want y'all using my name, image, and likeness anymore because y'all gave this guy my number." And we got another comment from Brandon. Brandon is saying, "Forget a jersey number. You won the Heisman. So did Jarvis Landry. And he's a 5-time Pro Bowler." Yeah, man, listen. Just saying. At the end of the day, appreciate the comment, brother. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just ridiculous. At the end of the day, why are you tripping? Relax, man. Relax on that. You coming out doing all this is unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. I really don't understand it. But, there's been so many people making memes and doing all this kind of stuff against this guy because of him doing it. Now, again, we don't know how Joe Burrow will react had this happened to him first. And I'll tell you one thing, he gonna get asked this question, and I bet he gonna say, "Hey, nah, it's fine. You can wear my number 9. It's fine." But yeah. Then another comment from Brandon. He's saying, "I meant he wore the 5 jersey." No, I get you, bro. I get you. I knew what you meant, so all good. But yeah, he wore the number 5 jersey. And yeah, nobody. Again, it's ridiculous, man. Jarvis Landry, head of a player in NFL, head of a player at LSU, was not tripping at all when Jaden Daniels wore number 5. Jarvis Landry didn't trip. He wore number 5, right? Could have, but he didn't. But you got this guy talking about this, that, and the third, and again, so many people coming out, and Jaden Daniels had to come out and say, "Hey, man, I'm locked in on the Commanders training camp and blah blah blah." Well, if you were so locked in, why did this happen to get leaked? Why did this get leaked to everybody saying that you're probably lawsuit against the LSU Tigers? It's ridiculous, utterly ridiculous. You got another comment from Brandon. Brandon saying Daniels should worry more about them star Commanders. Absolutely, bro. And I'm telling you right now, as I said last week, Dan Quinn seems getting very hot, man. Dan Quinn seems getting very hot. So you got this to deal with too. Jake Daniels, focus on being healthy, being available for the team, and being, piggybacking off of that season y'all had when y'all made it to the NFC Championship game, your rookie season. Like, come on, man. Priorities, bro. Priorities. And then this number of negative things, just put this in line with all the other negative things that have happened with the Commanders this season so far. You know what I mean? So let's put that right in there with all the other stuff. Larry Tunsil getting hurt, all the other injuries they've had, whatever the case may be. Dan Quinn, brother, you better get it together, man, because your seat getting real, real hot, brother. Just saying, get it together. But yeah, Jaden Daniels, bruh, moment of the week. Yeah. Congratulations, Jaden Daniels. Congratulations. Yeah, y'all, that's going to do it for us for this week's show. And before we close out, got a comment from Sidney Daniels saying, "Go ahead and let them focus on college numbers. The Cowboys can dominate the division." My man. Great comment. Absolutely. Yeah, focus on LSU stuff. Don't worry about Commanders. Let the Cowboys trounce y'all. Anyway, y'all, like I said, that's going to do it for us. Appreciate the comment, Sidney. That's going to do it for us for this week's show. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for all the comments, all the love, all the support. Appreciate all the people on the gram, on IG tuning in, YouTube, Facebook, wherever y'all watching this right now. Thank y'all for that. Thank y'all so much. Support means more than y'all know. Appreciate y'all, and don't forget once again to be sure to like, share, subscribe, and y'all listen until next Wednesday, y'all. Peace out.